Live from Hollywood, presented by General Electric, maker of the magnificent new wall refrigerator-freezer combination, a true appliance of the future, available today. Another example of General Electric's leadership in every type of home refrigeration. Front row center. And here to present this week's program is our producer and director, Fletcher Markle.
Tonight, you have a seat front row center for a television premiere. The first dramatic performance of F. Scott Fitzgerald's unforgettable novel, Tender is the Night. It has been described as shocking, disturbingly intimate, fantastic, and entirely real. John O'Hara, a tough-minded friend of Mr. Fitzgerald, has even made so bold as to consider it a work of art. But however you describe it, Tender is the Night is a portrait of a tragic love affair involving a husband and wife who were also a doctor and his patient. In Whitfield Cook's present-day version for viewing, Nicole and Dick Diver are as alive and actual as when Scott Fitzgerald first recorded their personal history more than 2 decades ago. Playing Nicole Diver, our leading lady tonight, is an actress for whose remarkable talents I have an admitted prejudice, Miss Mercedes McCambridge. As Dick Diver, Nicole's husband, we are pleased to have with us the very gifted Mr. James Daly. And as Rosemary Hoyt, front row center welcomes back the lovely Miss Olive Sturgess. Featured among others in the cast, you'll be seeing John Abbott, Wilfred Knapp, Maurice Marsac, Sheila Bromley, and Olan Soule. John Keats, appreciating a nightingale, provided Mr. Fitzgerald with his title. Tender is the Night. But here, there is no light, save what from heaven is with breezes blown through verdurous glooms and winding, mossy ways. Our astonishing story begins in just 1 minute.
How many times has this happened to you? You're busy preparing dinner when suddenly you realize you've forgotten some food you need, so everything stops. And you have to make another trip to the market. But you can always have plenty of food on hand with this new General Electric 15 cubic foot food freezer. It holds 525 pounds of frozen food. That's enough to feed the average family of 4 for 73 days, not including the usual foods and staples you don't freeze. Just look, there's plenty of space for food on these sliding adjustable shelves, and it all comes out where you can reach it easily. Out here in the door, there are more shelves that give you extra space right at your fingertips. And this GE Storewell is the ideal space to store roasts and other bulky foods. Best of all, only 1 square yard of floor space in your kitchen, and you have enough room for this wonderful new GE. See this new GE food freezer tomorrow at your GE dealers.
Mercedes McCambridge, James Daly, and Act 1 of Tender is the Night.
On the pleasant shore of the French Riviera, about halfway between Marseille and the Italian border, there is a proud and beautiful house standing high over the dazzle of the Mediterranean. Our Villa Diana. And we have been happy here, as happy as we could be.
Come. Now, we must go to bed before the guests arrive for the party.
Mademoiselle, why don't we say Mom and Papa? Why do we call them Nicole and Dick?
Because you are good friends all together. Bedtime, come.
Hey! Hello, Abe.
Greetings, my chickens. How about a song before bed, eh?
Sure, what shall we sing?
What about Mon ami Pierrot?
Au clair de la lune, mon ami Pierrot, prêtez-moi ta plume pour écrire un mot. Ma chandelle est morte, je n'ai plus de feu. Ouvre-moi ta porte pour l'amour de Dieu.
Thank you, Topsy. Thank you, Lanier.
Good night, Abe.
Good night.
Abe.
Hello. I'm Abe North. Saw you on the beach this morning.
I'm Rosemary Hoyt.
Of course, you're Daddy's girl.
Oh, please, that's just the name of the movie.
I haven't seen it. I don't go to the movies. I'm afraid of the dark.
Oh. I seem to be early.
I'm early, too. Come up here to play the piano. One of the hotel is foul.
What a beautiful, beautiful spot.
I'll go along with you on that.
It just hangs here like a magic castle. The Mediterranean looks so far down. Oh, thank you.
You know Dick and Nicole long?
Only a few days. Met them on the beach. I fell in love with them right away.
Both of them? People do.
You've known them a long time?
Years. I'm what is known as a hanger-on. Charming families and rich families always have hangers-on. The divers are both.
What do you do?
I'm a composer when I work at it. I'm afraid my composing's rather like Dick's writing these days. Yeah.
Dick is a writer?
He wrote a very good book some years ago. More and more his work amounts to less and less.
What kind of writing?
I believe he calls it psychology for psychiatrists.
Ooh, that sounds terribly solemn.
Dick is a terribly solemn person. Or thinks he is.
He is not. He's one of the most carefree persons I've ever met.
Is that the way you see him, child?
Why do you call me child?
You just sound like one.
Aren't you under the spell of Dick and Nicole, too? Otherwise, why are you with them all the time?
Yes, I'm under the spell. But more than that, much more than that. You see, my little innocent, it begins with enchantment. You kind of take your eyes from the ease and manhood of Dick or from the quiet mystery of Nicole. You're drawn along. You leave your own life behind. You think you'll be carefree. And suddenly you discover that you can't escape. Even Dick and Nicole are trapped and starving in their own enchantment.
You can't be drunk already, can you?
I can be very easily, but I'm not.
I don't really understand what you're saying. I think the divers lead a perfect life. They must love it here.
I have to love it. They invented it. Dick made that beach out of a pebble pile.
Oh, please don't spoil this evening for me.
Haven't you realized I'm a devil? It's my business to spoil people's evenings.
No, don't you dare spoil mine. It's a lovely, tender sort of night.
Played by the nightingale.
Dick? Dick?
You're right there.
No mercy. What time is it?
7:30. It's not a bad time. Not one of the worst times of the day.
I've been thinking about you for hours.
So, you love me?
Oh, do I?
Suddenly I wish we weren't having a party. I want to be alone with you.
Yes, please.
The party will last hours.
Whose idea, this party?
We can outlast parties.
Oh, Dick, can you remember these moments? The good moments? I know at times I've been difficult for us. But whether I'm well or not, somewhere inside me there's always the person who loves you so much. That's all I ask you to remember.
Well, well. Beauty and the Beast.
We seem to be dreadfully casual. Guests arrive, no one to greet them.
Don't you think they look attractive?
I think they're very attractive. I just don't think they're attractive, that's all.
Thank you, A. It's so nice that you could come. You haven't been leading Rosemary astray, have you?
In a way, I think he has.
You look pleased with yourself, Dr. Diver. I can tell you've been planning a party. Richard loves parties.
What impossible strangers have you asked from the hotel?
Nobody except the McKiskos. He's writing a first novel, which is what makes him so irritable on the beach, I guess.
And her name is Violet.
Dick even enjoys having people he dislikes at his party.
I'm not one, am I?
We've grown very fond of you, Rosemary, these past few days. Haven't we, Nicole?
Oh, yes.
Well, Rosemary has confessed she fell in love with you the first moment she saw you. Both of you.
Here's Tommy.
She's so wonderful, Dick.
She is, isn't she?
Paid musicians. No one trusts me anymore.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Abe. Cheer up. We can still get you a musical saw.
But why are you frowning, Tommy?
I would like to talk to you, please.
Of course.
I am going to leave in the morning, Nicole. I'm going back to Paris.
But we've seen you for only a few days.
It's too difficult. It's just too difficult for me.
I'm sorry. But the three of us do have fun together, don't we?
Not really. I feel so up against a blank wall. Oh, if it were just another marriage, you and Dick, I would know how to fight. But when your very life comes from him...
Mr. North, aren't you a friend of Peterson Calloway?
Never heard of Peterson Calloway.
Oh? I thought you were.
Good evening, Mrs. McKisco.
Good evening, Mrs. Diver.
Good evening. Good evening.
Oh, my, what a gorgeous spot.
Thank you.
Now, shall we discuss Peterson Calloway or this gorgeous spot? Let's begin by throwing out that word gorgeous. It turns my stomach, Mrs. McKisco.
Why don't you call me Violet? All of you.
Is it absolutely necessary?
Peterson Calloway was one of my best friends.
What happened?
I don't follow you.
Good.
Abe seems to be setting a new fashion. Be just as disagreeable as you can.
That's been my fashion for years, darling.
Abe said you were working on a treatise.
So I am. You see that little door at the end of the terrace? That's my workroom.
Your own little sanctuary. You are lucky.
Well, I had to have a place to be alone and cultivate my personality.
As though you had to do any cultivating.
Oh, constantly. Look, my garden.
Isn't it glorious? Do you know you're probably the most charming man in the world? Of course, you must know it.
I know you must mean that as a compliment.
Isn't it?
Everybody keeps asking me when I'm going to work. Composing is a man's own private business, I say. I may just go on drinking deliciously and never do anything again.
What is this treatise you're working on?
It's a classification of psychoses and neuroses, among other things.
Oh, Dr. Diver, I am impressed. Are you a scientist?
I'm a doctor of medicine.
Somehow I had the impression you didn't do anything.
Had you? Well, I must watch my impressions.
Dick?
Dick, we're sitting down now.
I don't care whether you believe me or not, it's the truth. It was an obscure town near the Greek coast. This woman came into the shop and asked in the most casual manner if they had mermaid hair for sale, and they did. The woman bought, I'd say about 2 yards of it.
What can you do with 2 yards of mermaid hair?
I can think of lots of things you can do with 2 yards of mermaid hair.
Mr. North, aren't you a friend of Van Buren Denby?
No, and we're talking about mermaids. Have you anything to contribute?
Mermaids?
Mermaids.
Oh, want to see my workroom, Rosemary?
Oh, I'd love to.
Are you trying to be funny, Abe?
Mr. North, that is.
Yeah, but you asked me to call you Abe.
I've changed my mind.
Oh.
If only you wouldn't watch him all the time.
Why shouldn't I? I love him.
I suppose I'm waiting for you to say, don't go away, Tommy.
I won't say it, though. I won't ever say it. If you're unhappy, you've got to go away.
Will the time ever come when you send for me to come back?
I can't make any plans, Tommy. I have to take things as they come. I love Dick. But even if I didn't, I'm bound to him in such complicated ways.
Are you happy?
Don't keep asking me questions I can't answer.
You two are ruining each other.
We're not. I couldn't live without Dick. He's my sustenance. But I have good moments, Tommy. Believe me.
I still hope one day you will send for me.
There's enchantment here, too. Tonight, this whole villa seems the center of the universe.
It's a great satisfaction to me. When I stand here, I have before me everything I need. My home, my family, and the superb and mysterious sea.
But when you stand there, your work is behind you.
Yes.
I think you're the most wonderful person I ever met. Except my mother. Oh, Dick, why did you have to be married?
That's a childish question.
Maybe the wine is making me ask childish questions. I'm so in love with you, I can't even talk to anybody about you. Because I don't want any more people knowing how wonderful you are. Honestly.
Everything you do is on the grand scale, isn't it? Like pretending to be in love.
Oh, I wish we'd never met.
You don't at all.
No, I don't really.
But you're a child, and I'm a middle-aged, I guess husband is the word.
What is it with you and Nicole? Tell me.
There's nothing to tell. I met Nicole when I was practicing in Zurich at a sanitarium.
Oh, is Nicole a doctor, too?
No, she was a patient. She was one of the Warrens from Chicago. The rich ones. We lived in Zurich for a couple of years, very simply, off my income. Then Lanier was born, and we went to Italy. Took a large apartment. Why should we penalize ourselves, Nicole said, just because she was rich and I wasn't? And then after Topsy was born, Nicole decided she'd like a home. And she decided the Riviera was the place. I'd learned by then not to say we can't afford it. She could afford it. That's really all.
Dick, I'm not pretending. I love you.
When you smile, I always think I'll see a gap where you've lost some baby teeth. You're the first girl I've met for a long time that actually did look like something blooming.
Kiss me. Go on, please.
This is not as it should be. Isn't it just the wine?
No. Kiss me.
You are an innocent. For one thing, have you thought how much it would hurt Nicole?
Oh, she won't know. This won't have anything to do with her.
Rosemary, you're not in love with me. You want to begin your life with a terrible mess?
Oh, don't tease me. I'm not a baby. I know you're not in love with me.
I'm afraid I could be, and that's not the best thing that could happen. Nicole and I love each other. And I mean love. Active love. It's, more complicated than I can tell you.
It was just a sad little hope.
Think of all the wonderful people who are going to love you in the future.
But
Oh, this is a rotten shame. Let's drop it out of the picture and go back to the party, huh?
Of course, using a real saw would spoil everything. That would be absolute torture. Don't you think so, Nicole? Dear Nicole, she's so beautiful, she never has to listen. Ah, these chosen ones.
Oh, I haven't had a chance to tell you, Miss Hoyt, how much I enjoyed your movie, Daddy's Girl.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. McKiskell.
I'd never met a real movie star before, and I must say, if they're all like you, Hollywood must be a delightful place.
Oh, but I'm not really a star, Mrs. McKiskell. I've only made that one picture, and through luck, it was a hit.
Oh, I know star material when I see it. You were just marvelous as Daddy's Girl.
I suppose I'm just a one-picture actress. I suppose I'm already typed. Won't it be awful if I have to go on playing Daddy's Girl all my life?
Oh, but I'm sure you won't.
Excuse me.
As a matter of fact, there's a part for you in a book I'm writing.
Dr. Diver, you were asking at dinner about my husband's book.
Miss Hoyt?
Well, it's rather on the idea of Ulysses, only instead of taking 24 hours as Joyce did, my husband takes 100 years. It's nearly 4 generations of the father image.
Be quiet, Violet. Don't go telling everybody the idea. I certainly don't want to get around before it's published. Don't you feel, Dr. Diver, that a writer shouldn't talk about his work until he's finished it? I've always felt that's the sensible thing to do.
That's very sensible. Will you excuse me?
Poor man. Why did you want to saw him in two?
Well, naturally, I wanted to see what was inside a waiter.
Oh, old menus, tips, pieces of broken china, pencil stubs.
Of course, doing it with a musical saw would eliminate any sordidness.
Oh.
Where are you off to now?
The powdering of the nose.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Violet, drop the subject. Get a new joke, for Pete's sake.
Oh, you're too nervous.
I'm not nervous. It just happens I'm not nervous at all. Mr. North.
Never heard of Peterson Calloway.
Oh, dearest.
Oh, shut up, Violet.
You intrude on the only privacy I have in the world. You and your daddy's girl. There is no daddy's girl. On All Fools' Day,
Control yourself.
we had a party on the Zurich Sea, and all the fools were there. And I never expected you to love me. It was too late. Only why does she call herself Daddy's girl? And why is there blood on everything? Everything!
Control yourself, Nico. Get up.
Go away! You and my father! You and my father! My father!
In a moment, the second act of Tender is the Night.
Here's an exciting new improvement in automatic washers. The new General Electric filter flow washing system that cleans and re-cleans the wash water right before your eyes.
That's right. You can actually see the filter flow washer clean and re-clean the wash water and remove lint. And you can actually see how much cleaner your clothes are, too. For instance, these trousers have been washed 11 times in an ordinary washer. Look at the lint. But these were washed the same number of times under the same conditions in the GE filter flow washer. And they're practically lint-free. Well, let's see how the GE filter flow washer works. We'll take this much lint, just about the amount that's deposited from washing a shag rug. Add a handful of loose threads. Now we'll replace the filter and turn on the washer. Look, the water continuously circulates, and in minutes, lint and threads are caught here in the filter, not on your clothes. Well, that's why the new General Electric automatic washer can give you a cleaner, brighter wash than ever before. And the new GE actually has over 50% more clothes capacity than many other washers. Remember, the new GE automatic washes your clothes cleaner and brighter because
GE filter flow cleans and re-cleans.
See the amazing new filter flow washer and matching dryer at your General Electric dealers.
Now, Act 2 of Tender is the Night.
Darling? A wire from Franz Gregorovius. He's flying down from Zurich this afternoon. Seems all excited about some idea he has.
You haven't forgotten that Baby gets here today.
I'm more interested in seeing Franz than your sister. Somehow, Baby always treats me like something she purchased over the counter.
Darling, let's not be disagreeable.
Well, it's simply the truth. Oh, it'd be good to see Franz again. Talk some shop, hear about the clinic.
You won't have much progress to report as far as I'm concerned, will you? Sometimes I feel I'm slipping back.
You're not slipping back.
I've had more bad spells lately. Don't stop helping me, Dick.
I'll never stop helping you. As long as you need me. You know that.
I don't want to always be a burden to you. I want to be a joy. But sometimes you look at me as though I'd done something terrible to you.
Don't mean to act that way.
I know at times it must seem that I want to own you, to keep you standing still. But my darling, I have to cling to you. You're life to me. I still can't stand by myself. I just can't. That's the trouble, I suppose. Our marriage isn't really a marriage. It's only a difficult cure. And the cure isn't really a cure. It's only a difficult marriage. Say something.
You've said it all. Except one thing. I love you.
I think love is all there is. Or should be. That's part of the cure, too, isn't it?
Do you know we're considered the most charming couple in the world?
This plan will be the making of us both. The clinic in Zurich is for sale. Old Dr. Domler has died. We can buy it together, Dick, you and I. You can stay in residence, say, half a year, and in winter you can come to France or go to America to write your treatise fresh from clinical experience. And for the convalescence in your family, it might be very good. There are the atmosphere and the regularity of the clinic at hand. Dick, it's something we talked about years ago. Partners in our own clinic.
What's the financial angle?
Oh, yeah, there we have it. Money. I have practically none. And the price in American money is $200,000. Oh. Then certain alterations will be necessary to cost around $20,000. But Dick, the clinic is a great investment.
Baby, in your experience, when a European wants to see an American very pressingly, is it invariably something about money?
Never mind that, Dick.
This sounds like an interesting idea.
Well, I haven't got that much money, Franz. I haven't even got a tenth of it. Nicole and Baby are rich as Croesus, but I haven't managed to get my hands on any of it yet.
I think it's a suggestion you ought to consider, Dick.
Please consider it, Dick. When one is writing a book like yours, one should have actual clinical contact. Freud, Jung, Bleuler, they always had constant contact with medical disorder, with mental disorder.
Dick asked me, I should think that would be enough mental disorder for one man.
Ah, Dick, that is different.
Nevertheless, it might be good for Nicole to be back in Zurich, where the very best men can keep an eye on her.
Meaning I'm not the very best?
Oh, not at all, Dick. But you're so close to her. Yes, I do feel we must think this over very carefully before turning Franz down.
The decision concerns me, Baby, but it's nice of you to want to buy me a clinic.
Oh, of course, it's entirely your affair.
The decision will have to be fast, Dick. I must fly back to Zurich tomorrow.
Nicole, you promised that you and Baby would have tea with us from the nursery.
So we did, darling. Come along, Baby. We have an invitation to cambric tea.
Wonderful.
Well, what do you say, Dick? Your sister-in-law seems willing to go along with it.
Yes, she does indeed. You know what she was really saying, don't you? She was saying to me, we own you, and you'll admit it sooner or later. It's absurd to keep up the pretense of independence. That's what she was saying.
But Dick, this will bring you back to active work. Give you much more independence. You'll be doing what you were meant to do again.
And I wonder what that is.
Hello? You all right? Dick, yes, darling, I'm fine.
I was just thinking about you. What's that music?
I found some old records here in the apartment. We used to dance to them 10 years ago.
10 years. Zurich hasn't changed much, has it?
When are you coming home?
Oh, half an hour or so. Franz and I are just clearing up some business.
Hurry.
Always.
Here it is, Dick. The first card in Dr. Domler's handwriting. Diagnosis schizophrenia. Die Krankheit ist in einem akuten Zustand. Acute and downhill phase of the illness. The fear of men is a symptom of the illness and is not at all constitutional. The diagnosis must be reserved.
Yes, I remember this.
Has she talked about her father since the breakdown last month?
Occasionally. She says herself it can't hurt her anymore to mention him.
That is good. When she first came here, she couldn't even say his name. And finally, Dr. Domler and I talked to the father. That's when the whole story spilled out. He was the cause of everything. It was an exact parallel of a Kraft-Ebing case. The same relationship, same unfortunate circumstances. With that knowledge, we began the cure. That was before you came here, Dick.
More than 10 years ago. And we still don't have a cure.
Oh, but we tried, Dick.
Yes, Franz. We try. See you in the morning.
Of course, Dick. Get some rest.
How did it go today? You still haven't told me.
Oh, some good, some bad. Nothing's changed.
Even the patients haven't changed. 10 years ago, I was a patient here. You were the new young doctor.
Very new. Oh, those records take you back, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember that first real talk we had at the sanitarium on the veranda? How do you do, Dr. Diver?
Hello there, Miss Warren.
Isn't it lovely out here? It's the first evening of real spring. You in Zurich to stay?
I think so.
I'm to be allowed to go away with my sister in June. Somewhere exciting, I hope. Being shut up here, I've lost so much time. Dr. Diver, will you tell me everything that's going on in the world?
Darling, maybe we shouldn't go back.
It doesn't bother me, I like it. Now we're high on a mountain path, and I'm being brazen. Do you like me?
Of course I do.
What I mean, Dr. Dick Diver, is if I hadn't been sick, would I have been the kind of girl you could... You know what I mean?
What did I say?
You said something about my being a nice kid, but you couldn't fall in love. And then I told you you wouldn't even give me a chance. And then I told you that you were the most attractive man I'd ever met. And then I just moved up close to you, and you kissed me. And then you said, gosh, you're wonderful to kiss.
I'm still saying it.
And then everybody started saying, imagine Dr. Diver marrying one of his mental patients. How did that happen?
Bah.
You don't know what your marrying me meant to me, Dick.
Don't I?
But did it cure me? Did it?
We don't know.
Am I ever going to be cured?
Of course you're going to be cured.
Oh, help me, Dick. Help me, my darling. Please help me.
Now, you listen to me, Dr.
Mr. Morris,
what's all this about?
My son's leaving this place, sir. And it's high time. So I'm washing my hands of you and your sanitarium.
But why? What is wrong?
It's very simple. It's Dr. Diver.
Dr. Diver?
Yes.
What is it, Mr. Morris?
Oh, Dr. Diver.
You were saying about me?
My son is here for alcoholism, Doctor. He tells me he smelt liquor on your breath. What kind of a cure is that?
After all, Mr. Morris, some people are not going to give up what they regard as food just because of your son.
But you're a doctor, man.
Your son came to us because of kleptomania.
But drink was behind it. Black drink. My son comes all the way from Boston to your sanitarium, and the doctor reeks of drink.
I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Just one moment, Dick.
You ask me. We are leaving, sir.
I'm sorry, Father. Dick, I know well that you are a reasonable man, but the time has come to be perfectly honest. I have been aware lately that you have had a drink when it was not the moment to have one. There's some reason.
Don't talk to me like a patient. I'm your partner, remember?
I'm sorry. Dick, you've decided not to take those 6 months away.
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, to tell the truth.
What about your treatise? Wouldn't this 6 months give you a chance to finish it?
Don't have much zest for writing these days.
Ah, Nicole.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Dick was alone.
What is it, darling?
It's nothing. It's nothing important.
Franz was lecturing me about my writing.
Oh, well, I'll see you later, when you're free.
It's not your writing that I was going to lecture you about, Dick. That's only part of it, and it's not a lecture. I think you need those 6 months away from the sanitarium.
You think I'm letting you down?
No, but you are edgy. It affects the patient sometimes.
I'm on double duty, really. I still have a case at home.
Yeah, it's Nicole I really wanted to talk to you about. I think it's got to the point where you are bad for her, Dick.
Perhaps I should get out of the clinic entirely, for good.
Your heart is not in the project anymore.
I guess, really, I want to leave. We could make some arrangement to draw Nicole's money out gradually.
I have seen this coming, Dick. I am now able to arrange underbacking. If you wish it, you can take all your money out by the end of the year.
But you think Nicole should stay on here?
I think she would benefit being separated from you, being under more impersonal care.
I know from your faces that you and Franz were making some kind of decision. That's why I didn't stay, even though I wanted to talk to you. I didn't think it was anything like this. I didn't think you were going away. Why are you going away? Did you hear me? I asked you why you were going away.
Well, I'm going down to the Psychiatric Congress next week, and then I may go down to Rome for a while.
You want to get away from me, don't you?
Oh, please.
Don't you?
Even Franz agrees a little separation would do us both good.
Dick, I sit here and worry about how I'm spoiling your career. I am, aren't I?
Let me worry about my career.
I don't want you to go away, Dick.
Franz will be much better for you than I am.
Oh, I know why you're going. Read this letter. As I understand it, this woman was a patient here. Now she writes to me to tell me the truth about you. It seems you had an affair with her young daughter while she was visiting here.
This letter is deranged. I had no relations of any kind with the girl. I didn't even like her.
I've tried thinking that.
The woman was a mental patient.
I was a mental patient.
Surely you don't believe the letter.
I've been sitting here thinking and thinking about it.
You think too much about such things.
Because I get lonely. Why do you leave me alone for so long?
It's a lonely life, Nicole, owning a man who doesn't want to be owned.
I know why you're going. You're going to her.
Nicole, don't be ridiculous.
Just last week I saw you look at that girl on the street in Zurich. No more than 15 she was. Don't you think I saw?
Sit down, Nicole, and be quiet.
You think you fooled me.
This is another delusion.
It's always a delusion when I see what you don't want me to see.
I love you, and I'm going away because I love you.
You're going away because I'm ruining. I'm ruining you. All right, and why not? When we're all rotting and the filth is everywhere.
Stop it, Nicole.
You go to your little girls. And I'll sit in the ashes, all the lovely ashes.
Stop it.
Go to your little girls. I've got my daddy. Ah, daddy! Daddy!
Nicole, open the door. Open this door, Nicole. You hear me?
In just a moment, the third act of Tender is the Night.
If you could see a picture of yourself as you bend and stoop to use your refrigerator, it would look like this. Another time it might look like this, or even this. And if you could see all the pictures at once at the end of a typical day, you'd see something like this. It's a fact. You can bend and stoop up to 100 times a day, just because the refrigerator section isn't placed where it's easiest to use. But look, General Electric has made a wonderful new kind of refrigerator freezer. See, the refrigerator section, which you use most, is now on top of the freezer, where it's easier to reach. You can stand up straight when you select food. And your food is on GE's wonderful revolving shelves, so it turns right out in front of you, in plain sight and easy reach. All your food passes in review each time you use a shelf. And see how easy it is to use the freezer. Just a touch of this foot pedal, and there. You can store up to 130 pounds of frozen food in this completely separate food freezer. And this new GE comes in the GE Mix or Match decorator colors that let you put new life in your kitchen. Be sure to see this beautiful new 14 cubic foot GE with the refrigerator on top and the freezer down below. Ask your General Electric dealer about his liberal trade-in allowances.
Now, Act 3 of Tender is the Night.
You feel you are ready to go back to the villa?
Mm-hmm. I want to go back. You were right, Franz, about Dick. These months here without him have helped me enormously. I am better, aren't I?
Much better.
So I think perhaps I can really stand by myself. Perhaps. For the first time since... But somehow I won't be sure until I get back to the villa and see Dick again.
Do you have to see him again?
He's my husband.
Of course, and you love him.
I have loved him very much.
But you won't lean on him again.
I'm so used to leaning.
Not good to lean. It is better to stand firm on the earth. You must not depend on your husband's strength.
What has happened to Dick? I haven't done it, have I?
You must believe that you haven't. Is Dick back at the villa?
No, he's still in Rome, I think. Somebody saw him there with Rosemary Hoyt. She's on location making a film. Well, she was a young girl who fell in love with him. Isn't that funny? That doesn't even upset me anymore.
Well, that's an excellent sign then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Franz. I don't know how to say it.
Good luck, Nicole.
Exactly a small world, as they say it is. But it has patterns.
Imagine my schoolgirl approaches to you on the Riviera, ending up so much later in Rome. I was just a little girl when I met you, Dick. Grown up now.
Are you? Diver speaking. Oh, yes, just a minute. It's for you.
Me? Yes? Oh, now, really? But I told you, No, you can't. How is Nicole?
Nicole? She's back at the villa. I had a note from her.
Have you separated?
No, not really. Nothing like that.
Oh, Dick, it's so good to see you and know you're all right. I was worried that maybe you wouldn't be.
And you heard I'd gone into a process of deterioration?
No, simply heard you changed. I'm glad to see it isn't true.
It is true. Change came a long way back. But it didn't show at first. The manner remains intact for some time after the morale cracks. Yes. Just a minute. Same voice. It's Nicotera, isn't it? You, want to talk to him?
Yes? Oh, please, I told you. I'm sorry.
I think while I'm here, you ought to count him out.
So difficult. Oh, Dick, there isn't anybody like you. Well, what have you got for me?
What's Nicotera got for you?
That's different. He's just a baby.
A baby? Your leading man? Valentino in a leopard skin?
Does look sort of funny in costume. When they ran off the rushes today, they said it's the first time I've had sex appeal.
I don't notice any change.
You wouldn't, but I have.
Are you in love with him?
Let me go. Never felt so mixed up in my life.
Guess I'm the Black Death. I don't seem to bring people happiness anymore.
Dick, what is it you want from me?
What does it matter? Whatever it is, I won't get it. I have a feeling I'll never get anything from anyone again.
Alor, I told you I don't like this man.
You mean you've been waiting downstairs? Watching? Why, you...
Dick, don't!
I told you, Bellissima. I know don't like this man always after you.
Oh, Dick.
Go away. Yes, we must go. We'll be late for cocktails. Come.
I'm sorry, Dick.
I'll be checking out this afternoon. Can you arrange an airplane ticket to Nice for me? That's right.
Are you sure you want to see him?
Of course I want to see him. How could I know anything about myself until I'm with him again?
You know, you are a little complicated after all.
No, I'm not really. I'm just a whole lot of different, simple people.
I get afraid for you, Nicole.
You mustn't be, Tommy. I'm strong now. Believe me, I am. And you'd better go, Tommy.
Nicole, I can only say it simply. I love you. I have waited a long time. I shall be at the cafe in the village this afternoon. If you know right away when Dick comes back that it's over, you must promise to come and tell me. I'm afraid of what he can do to you.
Don't worry, Tommy. Don't worry.
Well, darling.
I'm fine, really. You look a bit tired.
I am. Where are the children?
I sent them to the beach.
Didn't want them to see me?
Not at all. I merely wanted to see you alone first.
Never thought I'd feel strange here, but I do now.
You'll get used to it again.
Am I staying?
Aren't you?
That's up to you, I guess.
Oh, Dick, let's not be difficult.
I'm not being difficult, darling. I'm just asking a straightforward question. Where do we go from now?
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
I don't want to be responsible for your having a relapse.
Oh, Dick, it's the same thing again. Why is everything wrong as soon as we get together?
It should be right.
I know now, since I've been feeling better, that for a long time, whenever I reached out for you, you just haven't been there. I don't know why. As I got stronger, you seemed to get weaker. But we can't go on. Or can we? What do you think? Some of the time, I think it's my fault. I've ruined you.
So, I'm ruined, am I?
Oh, I didn't mean that. But you used to want to create things. Now you seem to want to smash them up. And I think you blame me for your failure at the clinic.
I was not a failure at the clinic. I went away to help you. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you're right. Maybe it's just that you got too much. Maybe I can't cope with too much. Maybe that's why you're able to swallow me up.
Oh, Dick, let's try to save something.
Is there anything to save? Let's face it.
Perhaps not.
I'm going down to the beach. See the children.
Dick, Tommy Barbin has been here.
Old dog Tommy, huh?
I promised him that if the three of us had anything to discuss, we'd meet him at the Café des Alliés in the village.
Do we have anything to discuss?
I know now that we do.
Standing on your own 2 feet with a vengeance, aren't you?
Oh, Dick, please.
Don't touch me.
I'm sorry. Will you meet Tommy in the village? It would be best to get it over with, Dick.
So, you are coming to me for help after all.
Yes.
Well, I can't do anything for you anymore. I'm trying to save myself.
From my contamination?
My profession throws me into contact with questionable company sometimes.
You can't hurt me anymore, Dick. That kind of remark doesn't touch me now.
The case is finished. Dr. Diver is at liberty.
Tommy, to be a person again, and not just a patient, to feel free.
Oh, Dick. What will you have?
The black and white of Exifon.
Your wife no longer loves you, she loves me.
Go on, Tommy.
It's very plain to me that your marriage to Nicole has run its course. She is through. I have waited 5 years for that to be so.
What does Nicole say?
I'm very fond of Tommy. You don't care for me anymore, Dick. It's all just habit.
You always treat Nicole like a patient, because once she was sick. She will have more happiness with me.
Nicole and I have had lots of happiness together.
Well, I think Nicole wants a divorce. I suppose you will not stand in her way.
Isn't it true that you're not happy with me anymore? That you could work better if you didn't have to worry about me?
Dick, Nicole and I love each other. That's all there is to it.
Well, then, since it's all settled...
Wait a moment.
Nicole and I will
points
talk
that
things
should
over.
be-
Don't worry, I agree in principle. and Nicole and I understand each other, there's less chance of unpleasantness if we avoid a three-cornered discussion.
Well, then let it be understood that from this moment until details can be arranged, I shall hold you strictly accountable for any abuse of the fact that you continue to live in the same house.
I've never enjoyed being where I wasn't wanted.
He was fair enough.
He always was.
Don't be sad, Nicole.
Tommy, darling, how could I be anything else?
Dr. Diver's still here.
Oui, mademoiselle.
He's still here.
So I see.
I think he might have the delicacy to go.
I told him he could spend his last day here with the children. That's why I took you to Cannes. You'll be leaving soon. I saw his car all packed at the gate.
I hate awkward moments.
He was a good husband to me for many years. In all that time, I never suffered a moment's pain because of him. He always did his best never to let anything hurt me.
My dear girl, that's what he was educated for.
So you did.
It's all right to call you Daddy, isn't it? Since you're married to Nicole?
I don't see why not.
I've always wanted to call someone Daddy.
Tommy! Nearly cocktail time?
We'll finish later. Everything is waiting, Nicole. I was about to bring something down to the garden if you did not come back.
I've been showing Grant and Rosemary the changes you've made.
Oh.
Everything's so beautiful.
I'll make the drinks.
Oh, let me help.
What's become of Dick?
Sweetheart, it's almost time for bed.
Must I?
Yes, you must. And you tell Mademoiselle you're dining with her tonight because Mommy and Daddy have company.
Oh, but Grant and I can't stay for dinner. Didn't even mean to stay for lunch.
It's no trouble. Are you going to marry Grant?
I don't know yet. Maybe. You know, Nicole, I've never seen you looking so happy.
Tommy and I are very happy.
What about Dick?
I love Dick, and I'll never forget him.
Here you are.
Thank you, darling.
I'll be right back.
Do you ever hear from him?
We used to hear from him quite often. At first, he opened an office in Buffalo, and then we heard he was in a little town named Batavia, New York, practicing general medicine. Later, he was in Lockport, doing the same thing. By accident, we heard about him from somebody we met on the beach. They said he bicycles a lot and is considered to have fine manners and is much admired by the ladies. And he always has a big stack of papers on his desk. His book, almost in process of completion. But he became entangled with a girl who worked in a grocery store. So he left Lockport. In the last real letter I had from him, he said he was practicing in Geneva, New York. And I had the impression that he had settled down with someone to keep house for him. His last note was postmarked from Hornell, New York, which is some distance from Geneva, in a very small town. In any case, he's almost certainly in that section of the country, in one town or another.
about next week's story and stars.
Here's the most wonderful thing that's happened to automatic washers in years. It's the filter that cleans and re-cleans the wash water in the new General Electric Filter Flow washer. And it gives you a cleaner wash than ever before because the filter removes lint right before your eyes. Here's how the Filter Flow washer works. The water is continuously overflowing the wash basket, being circulated and pumped up through the filter, being cleaned and re-cleaned as you wash. And just look at the lint that was filtered out of this wash. In ordinary washers, this lint can deposit on your clothes. Take this sock, for instance. Look at all that lint. But this sock was washed in the GE Filter Flow washer, and it's practically lint-free because
GE Filter Flow cleans and re-cleans.
See the amazing new Filter Flow washer and matching dryer at your General Electric dealers.
1 week from tonight, the United States Steel Hour will take great pleasure in presenting one of America's newest and brightest stars, Julie Harris. Miss Harris, with Donald Woods, will lead a distinguished company in a new play written especially for television, A Wind from the South, produced by the Theater Guild. And now, here are Mary Kay and Johnny with a message from United States Steel.
Here's the home you've always dreamed about. U.S. Steel Homes brings you the personalized Coronado.
Personalized means it's tailored to your family's personal needs and tastes. There's no other home around exactly like it. In a minute, we'll tell you how to write for free floor plans of these big, economical three-bedroom homes and literature on the many ways you can personalize them.
You'll want to see the personalized Coronado now being displayed by your local U.S. Steel Homes dealer. He's a local businessman you can trust. He'll gladly help you plan your personalized Coronado and even finance it on your family budget.
For floor plans and other information, send for this full-color folder.
It's free. Just print your name and address on a postcard and mail it to us. Mary Kay and Johnny, U.S. Steel, Pittsburgh 30, Pennsylvania.
That's Mary Kay and Johnny, U.S. Steel, Pittsburgh 30, Pennsylvania.
We'd like to invite you to be front row center 2 weeks from tonight when we're presenting Meeting at Meyerling, based on recently revealed facts concerning those ill-fated lovers, Crown Prince Rudolph and the Countess Marie Vacera. Our guests will be two exceptional European stars, and we hope you'll be with us. Now, here's your playbill for tonight's performance.
Others in tonight's cast were Margaret Wershing, Tommy Wade, and Andrew Oropesa. Tonight we're happy to welcome a new station to the Front Row Center network, WKRG-TV, Channel 5 in Mobile, Alabama. Front Row Center will return 2 weeks from tonight, brought to you by General Electric, maker of the most preferred appliances for the home. Remember, at General Electric, progress is our most important product. Front Row Center is a CBS television network production and originated live in Hollywood. Portions of the preceding program were pre-recorded.